Hey everybody, I am so glad to see you guys all out here today. Welcome to my channel. Becca, Nancy, Ann, Paula, so glad to have you guys back again. It's Thursday, we're running with scissors, and I'd like to welcome Tanya to our channel. She is one of my fellow creatives with Altenew, and I just love all the mixed media that she does. She saw my post over on Instagram and I invited her to come over. So I'm glad you're here. Yay. I hope you're having a wonderful evening across the pond. And across the world. Yeah, exactly, Paula. Someone else from the UK. And of course, oh, Cece, I'm so glad you're here. So good to see you again. Oh, you got snow. We had a little bit of snow too. It didn't stick around for long, but other places got a ton of snow in the US. So we totally know all about that late season snow. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Oh my gosh. So I'm so glad to have all of you here today. We are going to have a ton of fun with one of my favorite techniques. I love doing this ink smushing technique because it creates the most stunning backgrounds that you can do a ton of things with. And I always create like a ton of them. And then I'm like, well, what do I do with them? So in the spirit of this month's projects where we're kind of working on some things and using the scraps from them or pulling from the scraps bin, we're going to be doing that today. And I think you're really going to love it. So, oh yeah, I know, Joni, it snowed in New Hampshire. Yeah, tons of snow everywhere. My parents got snow in Cleveland. They must have gotten like 2 inches, 3 inches, which is crazy for this time of year. So too fun. And I'm done with it. Like, the tulips are out. It's time to be spring, right? All right, hey, let's take a quick look at announcements. Oh, and I just realized I didn't update this, but there's not too much to update. Of course, I've got my workshop on the 28th. That is next Wednesday. So if you're planning on attending the workshop, make sure that you're signed up by this Friday. The update emails and things about joining the Google group and all that kind of stuff is already starting to go out. So really Friday is your last day to join in on the workshop and still get all the information and ready to go for Wednesday. So that will be Wednesday, and then Thursday will be our last live class here on YouTube with our Stamp Focus stamp set with Concord and Ninth. The April Sketch Starter Challenge is still open. Of course, that will close on Wednesday as well. So don't forget to join up your projects for that. The May Stamp Focus stamp set, as most of you know, if you've been here for a few weeks, the Concord and Ninth Painted Petals Turnabout kit is the stamp focus for next month, and we'll be using the kit on and off throughout the month, but we'll definitely be using the kit for the workshop at the end of the month, which is on May 26th. And it says registration opens next week, but registration is now open. Click on the link below down in my description of this video, and it'll take you over to all of the workshops that you can register for. And of course, as always, I truly appreciate your support of this channel by using affiliate links for your shopping. That is something that really helps out all crafters. So when you use those affiliate links, and you go ahead and shop, I might receive a small commission at no additional cost to you, and I really truly appreciate that because it helps keep all this stuff fun and free. All right, so I'm going to pop down to my hands real quick. Let me show you. So next month's kit, just as a reminder, is the Turnabout Toolkit Painted Petals. They just came out with this a couple months ago, so it's pretty brand new. So you'll get this stamp set and the coordinating die set. If you're new to Concord and Ninth, the nice thing about this kit is you're also going to get a 4-pack of their coordinating colors. You're also going to get some white cardstock, which I don't have out here. And then you're going to get a few other little things that come in the kit. It's the easy dots and the eraser, the adhesive eraser. So these are really important, and I will be sharing that all with you next month too. Okay, so that's that. And instructions on how to turn, but we'll talk about that next month too if you haven't already done turnabouts. Okay, so one last piece of business is I'm taking a look at some cards from last week's projects. So I'm going to flip over to this. So as you know, each week I ask you to take the technique or the style that we've learned and apply it to your own projects and share them out on social media and tag me, #PixelMavensRetreat. And these are a couple that I got to see that got tagged. So this is Cece's, and she did such a beautiful job with this. It's absolutely gorgeous. She used this is the Cube Builder stencil from Altenew. And so she did a couple different colors with some ink smushing on the stencil and then some silver embossing, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a close-up of it. And it's absolutely stunning. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. It turned out really, really great. And look at those thick letters. Were those stickers, like stickers, or did you pile up a whole bunch of them together, Cece? It's gorgeous, whatever you did. Okay, so then she continued to be inspired, and this is another project that she created. So she used a hexagon stencil with a couple of shades of pink. And here, right here, do you see that? That's not white. I think that's like a embossing, the glare from the embossing. And then she embossed this huge butterfly over this. I mean, just stunning. I think you really knocked both of these out of the park. As I said, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Here's a close-up. See, you can see some of that embossing there. I mean, they're just stunning. So Cece, great job on both projects. I think these were fantastic. And then Anne, she also shared some projects. She was inspired, and I love these. These are totally beautiful. They remind me of the same look that I achieved with mine. It's kind of like almost a patinaed copper. It's really, really pretty. I really enjoyed this one. I think for the same reason that her husband does, the impressionistic style. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And in the spirit of using up scraps, she did create a second card using the scraps. And these flowers here turned out fantastic. So I really do like both of the projects that she created. So those were cards to share. And that was it for the cards to share this week. So as usual, as we go through projects today, if you're inspired, definitely create something, post it on social media, hashtag me, hashtag Pixel Mavens Retreat, and you could be featured next week. So what I do is I take all of the names, and we've changed this up a little bit. I'm going to take all the names, pop them in a hat, and at the end of the month, so next Thursday, I will pick out some names, and you will all receive a card from me from the cards that I've made this month. So you could receive some of today's cards. So let's get to that. Great segue, right? Okay, so let me pop down to my hands view. My voice is really raspy today because I've been doing a lot of video recording for my other business. And so it's a little raspy. Sorry about that. All right. So this month, as you know, we are using the Concord and Ninth Just Because stamp and die set. So today we're going to use both. Last week we only did the dies, but this week we're going to use both. And this week we are going to use up awesome backgrounds. So these are the two sample cards that I created with these backgrounds. And I felt like, well, I could just show you how to do the projects and whatever, but I really love how to actually do this technique. So I wanted to share that with you today too. So we're going to have some fun with some ink sprays and some photo paper, because that's how we're going to get that glossy look. And then we're going to add some simple stuff to that. So I have a couple pieces that we'll probably end up using just because they're dry already. Although it doesn't take long for this technique for it to dry, which is kind of nice. Okay, so key ingredients for this is photo paper. Okay, so photo paper, glossy photo paper in specific. Don't cheap out and get just glossy paper. That really has to be like photo paper with like a name on the back, and the back is kind of plasticky, and the front is definitely like your finger's going to stick to it if your finger is wet. You see how it's like sticking? All right, so you want to have that coating on here because that's really what's going to make all of those colors swirl and twirl together. Okay, so this is, I think this is what I have in the product listing. You can get the smaller size, the 5x7s or whatever, or you can cut down the larger sheets. You can make larger projects with these. I mean, all sorts of things, right? So I had some smaller sheets, some HP photo paper left over that I'm going to use. So photo paper is a requirement. All right, the other requirement is ink sprays. Okay, distress spray stains work. Your Altenew ink shimmer metallic sprays work. Let's see, what other brand do I have? Your distress oxides will work. It'll give it a little bit more of a chalky finish. The brush pewter, like the metallic sprays, I love the way these end up looking. Pure white, like from Altenew, works as well. And then like shimmer sprays, any spray really will work. It doesn't have to be alcohol based. It doesn't have to be water based. It could be either. You can mix and match. And actually, I think, where is my my alcohol. Oh, there's my alcohol spray. Let me grab. Ooh. So my alcohol spray. Okay, so you can also pair this technique with stencils, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to do a kissing technique. Okay, so then the next thing for me is gloves, because it can get kind of messy. All right, so, and as you can see, like, these are just like your regular El Cheapo latexy kind of gloves, but I use them over and over. I could probably get something a little bit more sustainable, but for now, these work pretty well for me. So the blue hands. And then I do use a splat box to contain the splatter. So you can use just a cardboard box or a splat box or whatever. This is nice because it has the sides. It keeps everything nice and contained. And I put some paper toweling in the bottom because if I'm doing lots of them, I don't like the bottom of this to get all gooky and gross. All right, so this will help kind of keep everything. Okay, so like I said, this is a kissing technique. So I'm going to take my first piece of cardstock, or my photo paper. All right, I'm going to pop it down in here. So don't forget, guys, ask questions along the way. If you have them, you might just be enamored by the process that is going on right now, which is totally cool too. All right, and if you're new here, say hello, tell me where you're from. What's the weather like in your area? All right, so let's start off with, oh, you know what? I don't even have this one open yet. This is a new spray stain color. This is Rustic Wilderness. Let me get this one open because I really want to use this one. All right. Open, open, open. Oh, you know, Tanya, I wasn't going to get one of these splatter boxes because I thought I'll just use a cardboard box, which works well. And this is, I was like, for the price point, like I could just cut up a cardboard box, which is true. And sometimes it's kind of hard to store this thing. I put it up on a shelf out of the way. It has its pros and cons. Like technically you can collapse it all and hang it on the wall, but I never do that. So, okay, so this is Rustic Wilderness. You're going to spray the glossy side. All right, so if it's real photo paper, usually has like an emblem on the back from the company. That's the downside. We're gonna spray on the sticky side, if you will, or on the glossy side. All right, and I'm just gonna do like a couple spritzes of that, and I'm gonna add in. Oh, I have another one here that I don't even have open. This is speckled egg. So the new colors. Okay, so speckled egg. This one is a little bit of a lighter color, so I can add more to it. All right. And then I'm going to add in some brush pewter. Now this has the agitator ball on it, so you make sure that you shake that up a little bit. I'm going to put just a little bit. Oh, come on. It's, I should have tested this before I got started. I might have to switch to a different one. This isn't going to spray. All right, guys, so my brush pewter is not spraying. Let me grab a gold. Oh. Oh. And I have antique silver as well. It's going to look really pretty with gold, though. Ah, there we go. All right, so some gold on there. I'm actually going to go ahead and put some more of the green right back on top. All right, so I've got this like awesome wet mess going on here. You see that? And if I want, I can go ahead and get that to move around a little bit, or I could have just left it just like it was. But here's where the fun part comes in. I'm going to take a second piece, and this is the glossy side. I'm going to kiss these two together. We're going to kiss. And then I'm going to lift them full apart. So I've got one that's like this really cool look here. And then this one kind of smushed a little differently. All right, but see, look at all those, like there's white spots in here. And the cool thing is like the gold is pooling around that, which is really neat. And there's a ton of things that you can just like throw on top of this, right? Sometimes the alcohol, see, it makes things bubble up a little bit differently. And now I've got, ooh, I like that. It's nice and light. It's got lots of gold sheen on it. And then I've still kind of got my original print down here. So yeah, tons of fun. Oh my gosh. So this one is a little bit more structured. I could still do more to this if I want. I can still come back and add other colors. I could add some distress spray. So the distress oxide is more of a solid color, right? So it's going to leave kind of a chunk in the center here. You really can't do anything wrong with this. Well, I guess you could. You could end up like getting kind of some muddy colors. But it might end up working out okay. They would just be like maybe more browns or black browns, things like that. But see, look what happened here. So like I only got a print in the center, but I got a lot of that blue. There's still some gold from the old print underneath and all that gray in there. And when I chop this up for a card, this is going to be absolutely stunning, right? So you really just can't go wrong. All right, so I'm going to set this one aside. I think we've kind of exhausted this. It's got some little rivulets in there that are kind of cool. And the neat thing is it looks really dimensional because the opaque is sitting on top and then you've got all these colors underneath. I mean, it looks really awesome. All right, so that's like one little fun way. Let's do a different color scape. Okay, so the ones that I think I demonstrate, or the ones that I have, oops, sorry about that, are going to be more of a green and yellow. So Rustic Wilderness again, and some mustard seed. And then I really do want silver. So I've got my antique silver. It's really pretty. This is all going to dry in kind of a silvery look. But yeah, the green and the yellow is just really, really stunning together. It makes it for a really fresh summertime look. Let's see, I want to add some oxide. So this is pine needles. I'm going to pop some alcohol on there to make it kind of bubble up a little bit. So yet another fun look. It picked up a lot of the distress on that. And then this one's got like some little kissy marks on it, like where it got sucked up. So there we go. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the technique in a nutshell. I mean, it's super easy, guys. You just grab some ink sprays, grab some of your glossy photo paper. And you know what? I know so many people that have glossy photo paper just hanging around. They used to print out photos at home. They don't do that anymore. Grab the glossy photo paper. Give this ink kissing technique a try. If you feel like being a little more adventurous, you can start adding stencils to it. I'll do a quick stencil one. So I just grabbed the first stencil I had, which happened to be the Cube Builder. So Cece, this is for you. I'm going to pop this right on here. I'm going to start with Tumbled Glass Distress Oxide. And what do I want to put on here? Could do some Lagoon Shimmer. We'll see what happens, right? All right, so we've got that, but now I'm going to take this and like flip it over and do a kissing technique with the stencil. Maybe just set it off to the side here and pop a second piece on top. Yeah, Ms. Tam, the samples from ink cartridges. Absolutely. I think that's where some of this may have even come from. Right, so this one's got like lots of cool little chunky bits to it. It looks like sea foam almost. It's really, really cool. It's got some like literal texture to it, which is super nice. And then this one, what you can see is some of the diamonds you can still see. And then the other ones that flipped the other way. It's really cool. All right, and then the third thing that I can do with that, running out of space back here, guys, is take a plain piece here and then spray this with some alcohol to get a funky look. All right, so while that's down, then I can spray it with, I'm going to go with something a little darker, the Rustic Wilderness. And this will definitely just give you more of a pattern. All right, I mean, like really, really neat things. So fun. And then with the interesting thing about using this with distress oxides is that the glossy paper stays glossy, but where the distress oxide lands, it ends up being kind of a matte finish. So then you end up getting the glossy matte combination as well. This I really just want to spray again and have some fun with. So I could reactivate that later. If I want to, I can also add in just some shimmer spray. This is from Imagine Crafts. And you probably won't be able to see this on the video, but now it's just like completely coated in shimmery goodness. It's all got sparkles all over it now. So you'll probably see some of these backgrounds in other projects in weeks to come. There we go. Okay, so let me clean up a mess here real quick. And we will get to creating. The alcohol that I have in here is just 70% isopropyl alcohol, just regular rubbing alcohol. Nothing special or specific. So just pull all this away. And the splat box. And I can put that away. So there you have it. Sounds fun. Let's create with some of that. Okay. So, like I said, I've got a couple of pieces here. These were left over in my scraps bin, so this is where we're using the scraps. All right. And those are some projects that I'm going to make with them. Now, here's the cool thing. This paper doesn't, even though it's glossy, it does not require something like stays on or anything like that, right? So I'm going to grab a block. So I'm actually going to use my Concord and 9th mushroom dye ink. So water-based dye ink. It's going to dry on here. See, it doesn't rub off. And it looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so let's start with this one. We'll do the backgrounds first, and then we'll add in our little pieces. Actually, I think I need to cut this one down. Yes, I do. Let me cut this down. All right. So here, my mystery camera, it says, hey, I'm going to break for a minute. Come back. I really don't know why it likes to do that, guys. I have tried to do troubleshooting on it, and I have yet to figure out why it likes to do that. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my little little sticky sheets here. These are Sizzix sticky sheets. I cut them down. I don't really use them on my plates. I like to use them, though, to keep the stuff down. Tanya, it honestly doesn't take long to dry. A lot of this is dry already. This stuff is still a little wet over here, so I would give it about 10 minutes, and it'll be mostly dry, if not completely dry. So this time it does not take forever to dry. Oh, you're so funny, Miss Tampa. When it doesn't see me, it goes into power save mode. That's really funny. No, that's not what's happening. Good guess. Okay, so we're going to take our little leaf pattern here. I like this one a lot. You're so funny. And just pop it on my block. Get it kind of squared up there. So I'm using, like I said, I'm using mushroom. So it's not quite black. It's not, it's a really nice shade of gray. All right, so I'm going to do a pattern on this. I'm going to do the vertical pattern. So when I do a pattern, I think about where I'm going to do like the sentiment or something like that. And a lot of times it just makes sense to start off with something in the center. So I'm going to do this guy here offset. So I'm going to start like right in the center. And I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not like measuring or anything. So yeah, Tanya, photo paper is a really fun medium. So once I have my center one lined up, I can add my top one and then add my bottom one. And this is the kind of thing where you want to press firmly, but you do want to pull it up right away. You also don't want to slip and slide around on it, right? Because it's photo paper. Okay, so I've got my first little line done here and I want to stagger. So I will pull in a stagger here. And then up here, you can also heat emboss on this after you're done. Like if you wanted to do these guys heat embossed in white instead, like because this is kind of dark, you could definitely heat emboss on this. Just use a lot of anti-static powder. And then when you're heating it, make sure that you're using either a low heat or you're moving around a lot because this paper will, the gel on the top will bubble and crack. It's a cool look though, if that's the look you're going for. All right, so now I've got like, there's all this silver on here just dripping down. It's really cool. There's some, this had distress oxide on it. So there's like some flat spots, the green and the yellow. I mean, it just, there's a ton of depth in here. Very cool. All right, so that's the first one. All right, and then let me wipe this off. For a second one, we're going to do like a collage, I guess you could say. So this piece is a little smaller, and then this one was, I guess I'm doing them backwards. This one had more yellow on it. We'll do them backwards and we'll see how they look, right? Obviously. So this one's going to have more of a collage in it. See how it's got like a collage of the different flowers in there. So I think I'm going to not do as many of these as I did. Again, we're going right in the center. Oops. So do like 2 of those. All right, and then I want to add in some of the other greenery. So the other greenery, like we've got the dots, which will be useful too. And we've got like this piece here and then this long frond here. So these leaves are, there's going to be some leaves in the center that are going to help kind of cover up the mess that's going to happen in the middle here. So I can extend this guy up a little bit. I could even, you know, come down on this side. And add in a frond or 2. I might just leave it just like that. So a single frond. This is a smaller piece, so trying to fit everything on there is not necessary. And then this guy is awesome. The little dots, because he's just going to add some extra texture. All right. Okay, so this one looks like a little bit of a mess in the center here, right? But we're going to cover that up with some die cut fronds and with the sentiment. So you're not going to notice all this gunk going on in the middle here. All right. Okay. Yeah, you could totally cover this up with text for sure. Like if you had a stamp with a whole bunch of words on it and stuff, that would be really cool as well, instead of the botanicals. There we go. Okay, so, and see, it's dry. Awesome, right? So you don't have to worry about smudging it or anything like that, okay? Let's do, so now we got our backgrounds done. Backgrounds, finished, check. See, these don't take long, especially if you already had these backgrounds in your scraps bin. These projects go really, really, really fast. So I've got a piece of green cardstock here. This is Parsley by Concord and 9th. All right, and I'm gonna do, we're gonna do 2 of these because they need to be die cut. So we're gonna do a You Matter to Me. I'm doing this in the same mushroom color. And I'm going to do a You Inspire Me. So you guys certainly do inspire me. Oh my gosh. All right. I don't like the way that's stamped. Let's try that again. It's been so long since I used firm foam ink pads that I'm taking me a little while to get used to using them again. I mean, I do like using them, but they're just a little different than using a traditional linen covered pad. Thanks, Becca. You're so sweet. Let's grab some dies. All right, so remember the die set. These dies do not match the stamps. They are complementary of the stamps. Oh, you guys, I totally did this wrong. And we'll see what we get. I might not die cut these right. I should have die cut them first and then stamped them. Silly me. I'm gonna grab my. So this might be like really self-critiquing. Real quick. Nah, I'd rather die cut them and then re-stamp them. Okay, so I need 2 of these guys. I guess I was just thinking it's so much easier to just stamp and then die cut, but I forgot that this die is not open. So we're gonna try that again. Hey, Darlene, nice to see you. Welcome. All right, so guys, don't forget to share out my videos while we're live here. Get other people to join us. Also, click on that like button so that way YouTube knows to give you more content like this in your feed. All right, so 2 little labels. We're gonna stamp these again. Yeah, I can make a jig, I suppose. I just don't, I just totally forgot about this one. Okay, so what I do like to do is take my little grids here, my sticky sheets, and pop those down in place on here because it keeps them nice and square and in place. Let's see how that works. So nice. Oops. Thanks, Darlene. I appreciate it. She shared it out to Facebook land. All right. And You Inspire Me. So there we go. Okay. All right. So the last thing we need to do is get some other little die cut pieces together. So I've got a piece of, this is the mushroom gray cardstock. And I think I mentioned this last week, but I really like the Concord and 9th cardstock, because it's all 80-pound cardstock. All right. It is also slightly lighter than the ink color. So if you want to do tone on tone stamping, you can totally do that with their inks and their paper. All right. So on this one, I'm going to pop on a leaf. And this one is going to get a flower. It's going to get a leaf too, but I obviously only have one of those dies. So grab a, so it doesn't shift. There. Run that through. All right. So do you guys have any crafty projects lined up for the weekend? I'm going to be finishing up the PDF for our virtual workshop. Oh. This one is a little, I like this a lot, but this particular die needs the shim for my mini book, which I totally forgot. Try that again. Yeah, so projects. Oh, Mother's Day projects. Yeah, so Ms. Tam, the technique with the photo paper, I mean, is very much like just regular ink smushing that you could do on any surface, and then you grab the print from it, right? It's just that you're doing this with a glossy paper as your medium. It's really cool. All right. Let's see. Becca, is that what you're doing this weekend? You're making elegant dresses? I'm confused. Anne's going to be working on her level 3 projects. How many classes have you gone through, Anne? Anne is working on becoming an Altenew educator. She's in her level 3 classes and doing very well. All right, so that's it for our dies. And I've got some card pieces here. Oh, dress cards. Oh, and inserting face masks on them. Gotcha. Understood. All right, I don't know what happened on this one. I do. I got ink on. So let me flip the back. Actually, we can cover this. All right. So on this guy, I love this because this is going to have a big chunky border around it, which is fabulous. You can use tape runner to adhere your paper, or you can use liquid glue. Either works just fine. Oh, so Anne's going to be blogging this weekend for sure, finishing up those projects for her level 3. All right, so there's one. Must have had some ink on my finger. And here's our second. All right, so this is going to have just a small border around it. I feel like this is power crafting, like getting it done, just getting these guys done fast. Let's pop that on. All right, so hey, let's finish these up. Got this cute little flower, and I thought that it just worked really well as a little backgrounder here. You can make it so that it kind of cuts across that way, or I kind of preferred it cutting across the smaller center here, so you can see 3 petals on the top and the bottom. Need more power crafting. Yeah. Sometimes the ideas just don't come, right? And you're like, this card took me forever. And then other times it's like, bam, finished. All right. So there's an element. I'm going to grab. I'm making my way. I think it's when I walk away and I don't, it's not because I'm not in the screen. It's something about it. Maybe it's bouncing on something. I don't know. It's frustrating. Like I said, guys, I've been trying to troubleshoot it and it's just not getting any great ideas out there on what's happening. So, hey, Roberta, nice to see you. We've got Liz out there. Hi, Liz. Oh, so Paula is going to do the masking technique class. That's Alta New Academy, right? And is that with Therese? I think it is. All right, get all these little backings off of here. So this is so cute. I'm just gonna pop this right down in the bottom. The I said this color is Parsley by Concord and it looks so nice with that green. It really just helps that pop. All right, so it did not need anything super super wow, because that whole background, we just want that to pop, right? So adding that little bit is perfect. There we go. So then our second one is going to be this one here. And like I said, we don't have to worry about this bleh in the middle because we're going to actually cover that up with a little bit of foliage. So I'm going to do a little bit of a shadow. So on the white one here, just a little bit of glue down the center and a little bit on the ends or towards the center here of each of those. So I'm not putting any glue towards the ends. All right. Wow, everyone's got all sorts of crafty homework, if you will. That's the best kind of homework to have, isn't it? All right, so then I just adhered that on there so that it's offset. All right, so a little bit of offset. It doesn't have to be perfectly offset. It looks better when it's not because that makes it kind of more of an organic, two pieces together kind of thing. All right, and then we're going to take our sentiment and put just a little bit of adhesive in the center here and pop that right across. You can put it wherever you want. If you want to put it up a little higher, you can do that. If you like it here, you can do that too. They all work pretty good. All right. All right, so then I'm just going to pop some more of these guys on the back. And I do like to put like one on each of the petal or of the leaves to help support the thing all the way down. Yeah, the interesting thing, Paula, about that observation that it really lends itself to mixed media is that Concord and Ninth is not necessarily known for mixed media, right? So this is definitely a departure from anything that you would typically see from their designers or their website. And that's the great thing about card making and all the different techniques that we know is that you can take basically any stamp set and do anything you want with it and create mixed media. If that's your thing, you can create, clean and simple, over the top, all sorts of different things. Okay, so guys, these are, full disclosure, these little things here, if you don't know the hexagon shape, that's a Stampin' Up thing, right? So these are like my leftovers from Stampin' Up. And these little backings on here do not like to, A, they don't like to come off, and B, when they do come off, they like to stick to everything. And so they're a real pain in the butt. But I'm almost done with them. All right. There, so cute. So, like I said, this is going right over the top of where all that stuff was kind of gunked up in the center. So you'd never even know. Ta-da! There. All right, now you see this little bit of ink there. I've got a sand eraser. Do you have a sand eraser in your toolkit, if you use this lightly, 9 times out of 10, you can get a little bit of ink schmutz off of a project if you happen to have schmutzed some ink on it. You don't want to go too much with it because it will leave like a little rough spot on your card. But these little light spots, usually you can just get those to come right off. Don't use this on your glossy paper. That's not a good idea. All right, so we all make mistakes. You don't always see them in all of our edited videos because we cut those parts out, right? Or we start over again if there's too much of a mistake, right? But yeah, we all make mistakes. There we go. Guys, what can I say? It's super simple. So we had some fun doing some ink smushing, right? Here's the, these are the original cards that I did for inspiration. There's the ones we did today. Let's take a look at some of those prints. I'll pull them out here. They're not all quite dry. This one is dry. That's gorgeous. Some of the ones that have a little bit heavier application of ink on them are not quite dry. Most of them are. This one, good. Yeah, see this one here still got a little bit of ink going on there. That'll dry up in a little bit. Same with this one. Yeah, so I won't put these down because these still have some wet spots on them. But for the most part, they're pretty dry. I mean, like little bubble ups and things like that do tend to take longer to dry, so you can just set them aside. If you hit them with a heat gun, again, do it on a low setting if you have it, or make sure that you're moving it around quite a bit. All right, so all sorts of fun backgrounds. Gosh. So this one is really cool. I'll leave that to dry. Some really awesome black texture on there. This one's got still a little puddle on it. Very fun. That's it, guys. Can you believe that we are already almost done with this month? I mean, like next week is the last week of our stamp focus with this stamp set. We're going to go through to next week is all purely scraps. I'll be pulling a ton of stuff from my scraps bin, and we'll be adding on little pieces like this, all sorts of different looks, different ideas for you to use up all the scraps that you have in your bin, because I know a lot of you have scraps bins that are just overflowing all the time. I will also show you how I organize my scraps bin. And then of course we'll do some projects, and we've got giveaway results for the casing. So if you loved these projects today, pull out your inks, do some smushing. If you don't have the glossy paper, just try it on, flat white paper. You're not going to get quite the same results because it's not going to flow. It's going to blend into that paper much quicker. But use what you have, give it a try, experiment with different paper types that you have, and see how it turns out. That's a lot of the fun of paper crafting, is experimentation and finding new techniques that are really, really cool. So if you do play around with this technique, don't forget to pop it up on social media, hashtag me, hashtag Pixel Maven's Retreat. And in May, we'll all head out to Becca's and get on her pontoon. And we'll do some pontoon crafting. That would be awesome. All right, guys. So it has been almost an hour. We're going to cut it just a little short today because we've got through everything. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really do truly appreciate all of your support. At this point, I have been doing this for just at a year, and it's been crazy and fun and a great way to pass the COVID times. But we're going to continue on and keep doing it because it's awesome. So tell your friends about it. Join me here every Thursday for Running with Scissors, and we will have some fun with paper and ink. Have a great and crafty weekend. And until next time, happy crafting, guys.